out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. Cause I'm looking for a hero, look inside the mirror, I find one. Oh, carry the hurt when it gets too hard, pick it up, dust it off. When I fall down 11, I get up 12, don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself.
Hello, bold listeners, and welcome to the Be Bold podcast. I'm Mackenzie Goslin, your host for the day, and today we're joined with Liv and Jess from She Studios. Welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
So excited you guys are here.
Me too.
So Liv and Jess, you guys are co-owners of this beautiful salon that we're sitting in today, filming this podcast. It is a local beauty salon here in London. So tell me a little bit about what you guys do, what your services are, and kind of your relationship together as co-owners.
Okay, so, we're the two co-owners of She Studios, like you said, located in London, and we offer a variety of beauty services, ranging from eyelashes, nails, permanent makeup, tattoos, all moving forward like that, and we're all women in the salon. We're a women-based studio, and our main focus is to empower women through our services, really.
That's awesome. So for those of you guys that don't know, the Be Bold podcast is sponsored by 6 local business owners and sponsors, She Studios being one of them. So I want to open the floor and just kind of ask you guys, what about Be Bold and the mission behind Be Bold really aligns with your business, and what made you, whether it's personal or through your business, want to be a part of this thing?
Well, honestly, I would say if we want to jump right into it, the main alignment with Be Bold and us is about empowering women. That's our whole, what's the word?
Mission.
Yeah, our whole mission in terms of being beauty providers is to make women feel good about themselves.
But
and just
while empowering women, I feel like also making women feel supported and
just
safe,
confident,
Yeah.
And we provide a safe space here. That was a huge priority for us when opening the salon, when we partnered together, because we had previous experiences in the beauty industry that might have been kind of considered toxic environment, toxic people. So when we left that and partnered together, it was a huge priority for us to make this a safe place. Definitely. And if we're providing a service in a toxic environment, the client's going to feel that. That's energy that everyone feels. So it's super important for us to feel like we are here and we're in a safe place where we're confident and we're at home just as much as our client is going to feel when they come in for the service as well.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And my mind right away goes to just the beauty industry already, right? So when we're talking about toxic standards, a lot of what happens sometimes, as we know, unfortunately, in the beauty industry and the social media industry as well, toxic traits, toxic self impressions, and all of that kind of body image and all of that is part of competitiveness is the big one. So how do you guys make sure that doing these beauty practices, you're kind of making sure that, it's not a toxic environment and that we're really putting self-worth first? And I know speaking to you guys that's really important for you to just make sure that everybody feels they're most beautiful. And it's one of the reasons you do what you do. But I just kind of want to dive into.
Well, yeah, even with the girls that work with us, it's so important for them to know that we're not in competition with each other. And I feel like that's a huge thing in the beauty industry, not only as providing a service to the client, but provider versus provider. There's this huge standard in the industry that
you have to be competitive.
Yeah, or this girl's better than that girl, or
we really pride ourselves on mentoring people as much as we can, in any way possible, whether that's a little bit of life mentorship skills, business mentorship skills, any of that. We want to help people.
We want to see people succeed.
Exactly. Yeah. And we want to help people see, sometimes you don't always see the potential that you have until someone shines that light, you know what I mean? So I feel like I pride myself personally on being able to help people see that light in themselves.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Whether that's through service or through someone renting a space in our studio, something like this, anything, right? We have girls from different businesses that'll reach out to us and just send inspirational messages you guys are so great, and we just we really appreciate that, because that's a community that we should have. 100%. It shouldn't be this toxic it doesn't have to be
and
that
as
way
women,
at
we're
all.
here to support one another. Like, to tear each other down in the same industry is just, it's not going to provide a successful outcome for anyone at the end of the day. If someone comes in and I have more clients and they don't, or they have more clients and I don't want anyone to walk in and feel like they're
and we're
lesser
screaming
than.
for each other when it's that way. Like,
It's one thing to say that, right? Like, it's one thing to have that mentality or motto,
show
whatever you want
it.
to call it, but to actually like actively do it is a whole different
Yeah.
thing. And I know you guys well enough to know that you guys do actively do it. So I kind of want to dive into that. Like, Jess, I know that you do a lot of teaching, mentorship. Liv, you do too. I believe you guys actually taught each other. You kind of like teach each other. Yeah, someone taught someone to do tattoos and nails and back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So even as co-owners, I think that you guys are models of that and embody just like helping each other grow, right? So
because I feel like a lot of people too, like, I've been doing nails for almost 5 years now, and I taught her how to do nails, no problem. Same with tattooing. I started a bit before, helped her out with the tattooing, and we did have an experience where a few people were kind of like,
they thought we were in competition.
yeah, and then we had to like really
Amongst
rein
each other?
Yeah, and it actually, for like the splittest second ever, there was a moment between us where we were like, are we in competition? Like, the whole world,
like, people
is
were
like,
making us question our decisions.
what does that look like? Like, what is that? Is that a message on social
uncomfortable
media?
for-
Is that
it's messaging, kind of like going behind people's back almost, or like whispering in someone's ear about someone else, and it's like, we're not
there's
doing
just,
that.
like, the little
If you come into the salon and talk about any of my girls here, that's not okay. Like, that's just not how it's gonna work.
set the tone? And I would imagine as the co-owners,
And
that's
I
very
feel like our
important.
viewers, like, not our viewers, because any of our, when I say viewers, I want to specify, I mean viewers, like, not people who know what we stand for, and me and Liv personally, the dynamic of our relationship, like, we are like a rock. Like, I was her client before we became business partners. She started doing my nails. And that's where we like really obviously vibed. When it comes to the studio, she started here first. She came from her previous toxic environment to here. And then the girls ended up just basically leaving. So she ended up having this big open space on her own. And then I ended up taking the room out there. Long story short, like, we've been in business. I think that we're going to be going into it, like, feels crazy, but I think we're going to be going into our 4th year. Like, this is year 3.
Yeah.
And that's 4 years. And Liv and I just communicate different. Like, I don't know.
That's really how we keep the whole
It's
vibe
hard
of the
to
salon
explain.
is having an open line of communication, whether it's even a client or someone renting from us, is so important,
Making
because
sure that we feel heard and seen.
that they feel listened, like,
cared for,
yeah.
like, supported, like, you know what I mean? Like, there could be anything in the world that either one of us, even if we're upset with each other, and there's never a moment where we go and talk to someone else about it first, or where we can't, if by chance we do talk to someone about it first, that we can't go talk to each other about it.
Yeah.
And there's never been a blow up. There's never been a nothing. Like,
whether it's even personal or professional, like, and it comes down to not even just between us, even the girls here, like, we're here to support you through everything.
It's a very family oriented environment. Like, everybody here is basically like family, and we consider our clients like the same way. Like, this isn't like you're just coming into our studio, like, welcome to Mikasa. You know?
I love it, but I'm just going to go straight for the hard question, right? So, all girls, I find it hard to imagine that there's never anything that happens here, right? There's never any disagreement.
Well,
So I love that it never escalates and gets to the top of your relationship as co-owners. I hear you loud and clear on that one. But it is, we're women. We'll admit we're high energy, we're low energy. Sometimes we're all the things. So on a bad day, someone's having a bad day. I would imagine in this studio being here today, it affects the other rooms. It affects the admin.
definitely.
Well, we're all also very hypersensitive here.
Everyone can feel it. Yeah.
If someone is, even if we don't say a word and it's just like we're a little bit quieter that day, everybody can feel it. We check in.
We check in, like, that open line of communication.
If we feel like something is off, or if by chance someone is like you said, like, yes, you're right. There is days where someone might walk in with a little bit of toot, and but I'll be like, or she'll be like, what's up? Like, you good? Like,
exactly. I was gonna say, just from being in a room with you guys and watching you in action, I feel like as much as bad energy bleeds onto other people, so does good energy. So if you have that mentality of
So I go in her room and I'll be like, can I get an energy transfer?
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to start
just
using
transfer
that.
energy.
But also,
So,
like, the whole thing about, I hear this a lot with, like, women in business is that, like, oh, there's so many women in one room. How are you guys not all ripping each other's heads off? Like, also, that's such a
vibe.
societal
Yep.
expectation that isn't always necessarily true. Like, just because we're women in a room doesn't mean we're not able to express our emotions without it getting out of control.
yeah, I think it's all about the woman that you surround yourself with as well.
100%.
We've had quite a few girls in and out of, like I said, we're going on 4 years now. And I wouldn't say a lot of girls, like most of the girls that we've had in here have stuck with us for a long period of time. But some of the ones that have left or didn't get the opportunity to join us, there is definitely cattiness.
Yeah.
And that, like, that's just not something that we
And we're
stand
selective.
for because we're not a catty studio at all. We don't walk around and we're like, did you see what so-and-so did? Like, we're not like that at
See
all.
that botch
And we don't-
tattoo she just did?
Literally. So we're the studio that's like...
We don't do botch tattoos. I have one done from the girls. Let's clear that up right now. No botch jobs here.
But no, absolutely no botch jobs here. We fix botch jobs here. But anyways, it's definitely just, like I said, one of those things where it's like, it's about your surroundings.
Yeah.
It truly comes down to that. And you have to be able to know and identify when there's a bad apple, because that bad apple can
It's
make the whole bowl moldy real quick.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and we've had to be, like, selective in that process as well. I think we've learned a lot through trial and error of, like, wanting to be so open to everyone and give everyone these opportunities. But along the line, we've kind of learned that we do have to find someone who aligns with us. Same with clients, too.
Yeah.
Like, it goes both ways. If someone's not respecting us or our space the same way that we would expect us to do the same, like, it's just... We just, like, kind of learned a lot through trial and error that way, what works for us and what doesn't. And, like,
and it's hard, right? Like, it's hard to stay soft. Like, you've heard it, so it's a quote on social media that comes up on my feed all the time. But, like, how do you stay soft as a boss, female business owner, right? Because it is a fine line of walking that. Like, you need the respect, you need people to listen, you need people to kind of fall in line sometimes, but you also need to be compassionate and lean into the feminine too. And I kind of want to just talk about how you guys do that in terms of being compassionate. Like you said, you know, you kind of want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt right off the jump. I think that's something that women do. I think it's something that good, kind people do. But you can get burned doing it, right? And how do you stay soft and keep kind of encouraging other people and betting on everybody?
Well, I think our dynamic works because there's two of us too, right? So we both have different personalities. So we both bring different things to the table. So, I mean, sometimes if someone maybe...
We balance each other out.
Yeah, like if someone wants more of a straight up answer, you're going to come to me and ask me. But if you want someone to really give you an emotional supportive boost, like this is the girl you go to.
Yeah.
So it works that way. We're like, we're able to kind of like hold each other's hands like through this. But at the end of the day, if things need to get done, like you just kind of have to say it how it is. And like, know that the other person's feelings aren't going to get hurt because they're not coming from a malicious space. They're coming from a place of improvement. So I think just having that relationship helps.
Yeah, and in the aspect of just like, of how you're saying, like, how do you stay soft during like things like that? I think it just comes down to who you are.
And grounding yourself.
Because if you're truly just genuinely a good person, like people taking advantage of you, people hurting you, toxicity, all of that, that's not going to change your heart, right? Yeah. So, we may have been burned before, we may have been in toxic spots before, but that's not going to change what we want for each other or for anybody else in our studio, not out of our studio.
Even in our past experiences that may have not panned out the way we wanted them to, I still only wish but the best for those people. I'm still able to look at other people's success and like strive for that. I'm never like looking at that and feeling some type of resentment. And I feel like that really helps because it just keeps you grounded and keeps you like, like have your morals in check while being soft and maintaining that structure as well.
So I want to ask, because we've mentioned it a few times about coming from a toxic past studio, past business, past whatever that is. So I want to give you guys the space to kind of explain that a little bit as deep as you want to go into it. But the goal of asking this question is I want to understand how you knew that was not the space for you and how you learned to kind of take the lessons take the lessons and bring them towards a new kind of value journey here. And in that, I also want to ask, kind of double question here, is how did that bring you guys together, right? Because I would imagine, and I don't want to lead, like, your answer is your answer, but I would imagine, you know, that's how you find your people, right? Like, you learn what you don't want, whether it's a relationship, a business partnership, whatever that is, you find what you don't want and lead into building something that you do want. Definitely. And that obviously brought you guys together. So can you guys explain that a little bit and talk on that?
So I'll start on that, and I won't get like too into things, but basically my first business partnership just, it didn't align with me for many reasons. One, the biggest thing that stood out to me almost immediately was I'm very much like, I am super business motivated. Like, I see this room and I'm like, oh my God, I have a million ideas. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, my business brain is just always going, and I can't stop. And I do want to do a lot of things. And, you know, they say that a millionaire has more than 7 sources of income. So why should I be, I'll get to the point of that. So my previous business partner had looked at me and said, Jess, like, you can't do all these services. Because at the time I had just finished hair school. Well, not like the full process of hair school, but I was in like an apprenticeship through her because she did hair, and I had just started doing lashes and brows, and I was trying to expand even more services. So she looked at me and she was like, you can't just do a bunch of services. And I was like, but why not? And like, but I want to. And then everything got really competitive. From there, I actually stopped doing hair because that was the only service that she offered. So it felt really uncomfortable.
Like overstepping, stepping on someone's toes. Like,
yes. And
stay in your lane kind of thing. Is that?
She made it very clear after I took like the hair extensions course, things were very competitive. And again, I don't want to get too into that, but obviously there was just like all the signs there that like, this is a very competitive, toxic, red flag relationship. This is not,
it wasn't about wanting the best for your partner.
No,
there's no growth. There's no
and like where things are so different with Liv and I, like when she brought up that she wanted to do tattoos, like I said, my business brain's always going. So like I may have just started tattooing, but like she knows, anyone that knows me knows I've been talking either,
which I think is so
important.
a long
time, right? So when she had brought that up, I was like, do it, like start, right? And I pushed her and I was like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then like when the time came that I finally started, and like my little sister also does tattoos and she's just learning now too. We actually pretty much both started tattooing at the same time. Again, no competitiveness. Like we're all very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
She's just, it's very different to have someone that like, I want to do nails. She does nails. She's the nail god as far as I'm concerned. So she had no hesitation with teaching me how to do nails. If I do a fire set, she's not like, yeah, like
I'm not like, how long did that
you're
take
just like, you go.
Literally, that took you 3 hours?
Or like sitting there picking out the flaws in it. Yeah. Like she's like hyping me up, screaming for me, and vice versa. And also, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm like, yeah, she'll come to me even sometimes if I'm with a client, I'll still come and like give her a little help and then go back to what I'm doing. And it's like, And then as for like my experience, I think I say toxic, but I don't think it was necessarily like it was a bad person that I was working with. I think it was just how they wanted to run their business wasn't how I wanted to run it. I'm very, I think, like personable. Like I'm like really down to earth that way. I don't sugarcoat things. Like, and I felt like
this is true, you guys. She does not sugarcoat anything.
And I felt like I was like being, I don't know. I just felt like, it just, the business like didn't align. And like, it wasn't like, you could view it as like it was toxic or whatever, but ultimately I don't hold any like hard feelings towards that. It was just like, this just doesn't work for me.
I also don't hold any hard feelings.
Oh yeah.
Also wish
it's all things to learn from. And when I tell people, they ask me, they're like, if you could go back and change it, I always say like, no, because ultimately
you learn.
Everything that you go through, you need to go through. I believe that every encounter, every person that you meet, they're there to teach you something, whether
Yeah.
it's a positive or a negative, and it's part of your story.
Everybody
So-
that, like, I'm a huge believer in all the successful people just failed one more time and got up and tried again one more time than the person who didn't succeed, right? Like, we've all failed a million and one times. Like, there's no lack of failure in this
And
room.
someone-
Like, and it's humbling,
Yeah.
but it's how you get to, like, finding the right people. You've got to, like, it's literally like dating. Like, you've got to date
pretty much
to figure out what you do
Same
and
thing
don't
with
like,
friends
right?
at this day and age.
Yeah. And it's okay to not, like, torch the bridge, but you don't have to use it. Like, you know, you wish everybody the best while you find the people that, like, are your match. So kudos to you to be able to, like, do that, turn those, like, toxic past.
I think that's why we stay so strong too, is just because we do know, like, for instance, like, how each of our situations were and how we communicated with those people and how those people communicated with us. We really just want to make sure that we never are communicating with each other that way. And like, if by chance we have a moment where we're like, with each other, it always ends with a hug. Always,
Awesome. I love it.
always ends with a hug. Like, we've never went to bed mad at each other. So
I love it.
Yeah.
You have pictures of each other on your nightstand. It's cute.
it's on my altar, but yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to kind of circle back and say, like, obviously you guys are pillars of wisdom with what you've gone through. And like you said, sometimes it takes someone else to recognize it and acknowledge it. So that's me today, recognizing it and acknowledging it for you guys. So it's awesome to see what you guys have built and continue to build. And the whole concept of Be Bold, as you ladies know, is really about telling the stories, telling like the not so good stuff and the good stuff, creating a community where we can kind of celebrate each other's wins and help each other. You know, if I go through something and it's going to teach me something, I'd rather like help someone else so they don't have to go through exactly what I did.
And touching on that too, it comes even with our clients. Like, we're low-key like therapists to a lot of our clients. So as much as like we're mentoring our employees, like we're also mentoring looking at our clients. Like I'm giving them advice, obviously loosely. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but also I'm here to listen and like.
Sure, there's times you want to.
Yeah, for sure. But like it's it all comes down to.
I come in and cleanse people when they need it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sure.
So I just wanted to leave it off and say, if there's any listeners that are looking to kind of get into the beauty industry, I know you guys are like, absolutely, you do teaching, you do all of that in the mentorship. But whether it's the beauty industry or they just kind of want to make that bold choice and step out on their own, whether it's in a personal avenue, leaving a bad relationship or creating their own business, what is something that you would have told your old self or would tell that person right now?
I would say to just start, whether it's baby steps, big steps, wherever you feel comfortable, just start and don't be afraid of not being perfect. Like, I think that's held me back a lot, was being so obsessed with perfection that you just never begin. So
you never start.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize that. You think you have to have this whole action plan, have it all chalked out, and people just, that stops people from starting. It's literally like the thing that just holds you back, and it's never going to be perfect, but you build and you get perfect as you go, right?
So like baby steps are just as, I think, what did I say the other day? It's like, focus on the little things and the big things will figure themselves out. That's really how it works out. Even in business, relationships, personal life, that's kind of like the biggest thing I've learned.
My biggest thing would be just like, don't let anything get in your way, because there's a lot that can get in your way, and everything and anything will try to get in your way, and anyone.
And if you're passionate, you'll have tunnel vision.
Just don't give up, because there is light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's probably a lot closer than you realize. Like, there's that whole saying that people like give up right before the light, like right before you're about to win. So it's like, just try one more time.
The light comes.
And nothing's linear. Nothing is linear. Like, we've been doing this she's been doing it for almost 9 years now. I've been doing it for almost 6 at this point. And like, there's crazy ups and then there's crazy downs. And just to like really just hone in, focus on what the goal is. If you're passionate, that always helps, obviously, that you love what you do. And
I like what you said about there's ups and downs, right? Because one of the things that I've gone through with my own business is learning to lean into that and like not just celebrate the peaks, but like learn to appreciate the low, because that's where the growth happens. And then also celebrate the wins, no matter how big or small, right? Like
I always have like a moment during the slow months where I like do have a little mini panic, but it's about just like reeling it back in and realizing that like, oh, I've been burnt out for 6 months. So maybe this time is actually like more useful than you can even imagine, and kind of twist the narrative to work in your favor, really.
I usually take that time to obsess over.
Yeah,
What can
that's
we
like the
do right now?
brainstorming
That's
time,
when
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my brainstorming time.
Where can we spend money?
That's awesome.
And to make more money.
Yeah.
Well, you two, I'm like so in awe with what you guys are building here and the relationship that you guys have as co-owners. I think it's impeccable, like to do this with all women. I think it's our superpower.
I mean, you too.
Thanks.
You're killing it. Yeah.
And I'm just so excited to do this Be Bold thing and have you guys be such a good part of it because I think your journey is unique and it's still growing and we have so much to share with people. And I know that you guys are open to supporting others in the community do what we're doing and just kind of figure it out together, right?
Oh, yeah.
It can be lonely owning a business. I love that you guys have each other and I love that you're willing to be that for other people too. So
You'll find us on Instagram.
I was
Studios.
just going to give you the plug, but you go for it.
I'm Liv, She Studios. She's Jess, She Studios. And we're on everywhere.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find us.
Yeah. So
Now
if you're
against
looking
Swift
for
Be Bold.
nails, they just did my nails yesterday. Tattoos. I've got my tattoos done here too. Hair,
Lashes,
lashes,
everything.
literally everything. They do it
Pedicures,
and they do it really damn well. So, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks for having us.
All right, everybody, and stay tuned.